Welcome to the bold analysis. We have processes that have legal prescriptions, but we are pretending that they can't produce political results. By the end of this analysis, you'll get to understand what that statement is all about. There is a pitch called the rule of law, and on politically triggered decisions that are also protected by the law are wrapped as the rule of law. So in this analysis, I want you to listen to a very interesting clip I bumped on. I think someone sent for me this clip, and there is a lady who did a skit, a very small video, just wrapping up what this is all about.
Leo, through a Gazette notice, President William Ruto established the Nairobi Rivers Commission and appointed Mr. Ferdinand Waititu, aka Baba Yao, as one of its commissioners. And this has left me kidogo confused, because this is our president on record.
Let me say this for the record, that Kenya can only be better if we become a country of the rule of law. Any other route leads to anarchy and confusion.
You see, Baba Yao was impeached in 2020. Both the Senate and the High Court of Kenya upheld his impeachment. And as per Article 75, sub-Article 3 of the Constitution of Kenya, it means that Mr. Waititu is unfit and unsuitable to hold any public office ever again in this lifetime. Mr. President, this is you on record again.
I want to assure you that my administration will respect the independence of the judiciary, will respect the independence of all the other institutions in a manner that makes them efficient to deliver on their respective mandates.
Appointing Mr. Waititu to serve the public in this commission goes against the rule of law, goes against our constitution, goes against your word and commitment to Kenyans. Basically, it also takes away the independence of the judiciary in terms of the High Court and the independence of the Senate as an institution.
Even as president, I have limitations, and I should respect those limitations.
At what point do these limitations that you talk about come into play? Because going against the rule of law and going against the constitution, sounds like you don't have much limitations. As a polite reminder, this is also you on record.
As I committed to the people of Kenya, I believe in the rule of law. I do not believe in the handshake stories. I believe in an accountable government held to account.
Mr. President, it is important for you to keep your word and commitment to Kenyans, uphold the rule of law, and protect our constitution.
Now, that lady is talking about something very interesting, that we should have a culture of keeping our word. Me and you. I want to take you to Standard, the Star. Today I got the Star. There is this article, and it's written, "Why Nyang'aya and Cherera quit." If you think I need to bring it to your screen, "Why Wang'aya and Cherera quit." That article is opening a lead on what is happening behind the scene. And I really rushed for it because I had got the gist that they had exclusive interview with some few commissioners within the IEBC. And let us just make it clear that this administration had a revenge mission against the commission and those breakaway commissioners. There are two ways to that. And after going to the petition that was sponsored by the Ntumbi team, heading all the way to the Legal Justice and Legal Affairs Committee in the National Assembly, a tribunal was formed. So there are three ways, there were three options that were on table for the commissioners after that was triggered. The first option was to resign, which Justus Nyang'aya, I understand is a staunch SDM man, was advised to take that route. I'll tell you why. And on Monday, Juliana Cherera also left. So the two that are there that are going to face the tribunal so far, before they may be made an intention to exit, to make that exit, are Masit and Wanderi. The other one was to face the tribunal. All these are all within the rule of law. And the tribunal is going to either decide whether they are guilty or not. But remember, according to President William Ruto's pronouncement, they were guilty before even they were charged. Even though, in the same breath, we were also saying rule of law, not what the big boys want. The same rule of law is what was wrapped as rule of law, was a bit of what a political process. And actually, let me tell you, the process of appointing or removing public officers in this country is a political process. Starting all the way from the president, appointing a president, electing a president is a political process. Appointing cabinet, PS, and removing them is a political process. Even Chief Justice. Why am I saying? I'm saying this because if you look at that process, there will be at a point where the president's signature, or rather the voice of the president, will have to reign. Tribunal, after JLAC, it went to the president. President forms tribunal. These things happen within 2 days. After the tribunal, the report goes back to the president. The files goes back to the president. So that's what we're saying, that these are political processes. The other option that was on table for Cherera's was to challenge the Oster in court, the petition in court. And Junet Mohammed is saying that they filed 4 cases in different courts. Coincidentally, all those cases were slated to be heard on 14th December, the same day, and that was post, even after all this is going on. So, the interest is this. The 2 commissioners that have left still stand to get their benefits of them as office holders. They stand to get the benefit because if you face the tribunal and you are found guilty and you go through subsequent appeals and you lose those appeals, you fail the integrity test and you are like an impeached person and do not hold any public office. So you see, this is how the careers are going to be destroyed. And I was asking my good friend Lawyer Wara on if there is a provision that someone knows that if I go to tribunal and I'm found guilty, I'll be sent home and I will not enjoy the benefits, and in fact, I will not even hold any office. Why do you think the other 2 commissioners are still staying put? Why do you think? Standard asked Wanderi. And this is what he said. They asked whether he was contemplating on the move. Now, yes, this is what it is. When we contacted him, Wanderi, for a comment on this, his next steps, he said, no, I have not resigned. Then asked whether he was contemplating on the move, he said, that is enough. The Star also established that Cherera's and the team left because they opted to quit because of the painful consequences of being found guilty by tribunal. That tribunal had already had a predetermined stake that they were guilty. They are not the first ones to face a tribunal. And that article has documented public officers who left, who faced a tribunal. That is Said Juma Chitembwe. I don't know whether that is the same judge. Someone will have to tell me. I don't know he's been picked because he faced Nancy Baraza, Deputy Chief Justice. That one had to leave. Jackton Ojwang, Joseph Mutava, Martin Muya, Philip Tanui, retired judge in the Kidero case, if you remember, Lucy Waidaka, and Jagi Marete. So it is something that has been going on, and people sometimes opt to resign. Because if you face it, just I remember of Philip Kinusu, who was the chairman of ESS in 2016. So immediately Parliament recommended his suspension, he left, so that you will still go and enjoy your perks. And I want to say this. We have seen a very well rule of law, a choreographed rule of law scheme using the rule of law that has executed what, according to me, are political processes. And that pretense, or pretending that, okay, we're following the rule of law, so this has nothing to do with me or him or them, is wrong. Is wrong. You can follow the law, but the decision, if you form a new commission, you're not going to vie against yourself. It's going to be a political competition. Those are custodians of political competitions. And political competitions is not only at the national stage, not only the presidential. There are a lot of things that are at stake. And so, this pretense has, according to me, covered what, according to me, would be a need to bring everyone on table. For example, I know the amendment to change the selection panel to pick the commissioners was reached, so that instead of parliamentary service producing 4, they're producing 2, and political parties election committee produces 1, and public service produces 1. It's quite in the interest of increasing the spectrum of people who are going to be there. But don't you think that is also a necessity that we have from an election, people are feeling like, okay, the commission was a problem. Then you rush some of these decisions. People ask, what is it? And I'm saying this because we risk the population might lose trust even on our good deeds. The population will, okay, keep on questioning. And hakuna kitu mbaya kama kuweka people just keep on guessing. What's it? What is it about? The skeptics are just too much. Now, the perception of administration interfering with the pulse body is indecent for the democracy of this country. I once analyzed here what is called political. I think some of us who follow the ball, they talked about political indecency. So what is really, we are following law, but the rush, the motives, and the way it is being packaged, it creates a perception in the population that we are just interfering with the pulse body. And that is why I normally say that we need to be very careful and we need to motivate the people. Our intentions must be very clear. There are many people in this country who are saying, I'm not going to vote. I will not vote. But we are telling you, you need to vote. You must vote. You should vote. It's your right. Those voices are coming because of such observations. Most processes that have legal prescriptions produce political results because the custodians of those processes are politicians. The president is a politician. Members of parliament are politicians. So, and politicians is both sides, be it government, be it opposition. The baseline is this: let's not pretend that it's not about politics, it's about the law. That pretense is wrong. And in fact, the public can just make and see that, okay, hapa hata kama tunaambiwa tunafuata sheria, lakini hii ndio kitu tunataka. So we need to address that so that we move as a unit. We move in unity. President Ruto is a man that You can doubt his potential. You can doubt his motive. You can doubt his motive, but he has the potential. He seems to have the good intentions. But in the office of the presidency, there are many stakes in it. And sorry to say, Mount Kenya might have captured him. That he wants good things. You see the way Gachagua is putting safeguards. We don't want you to talk to opposition. We don't want you to talk to Raila. We don't want this. And so he seems to be a man who wants good, can't be served. There are a lot of safeguards. But those safeguards should also know that apart from the moral aspect, apart from the legal aspect, we must bring in the moral value so that we follow values instead of propagating vices. That's the end of it.